history of Black Friday. A day that, for many, marks the beginning of the holiday shopping season, filled with doorbuster deals, long lines, and frenzied crowds fighting for the best bargains. But beneath the shiny advertisements and glossy sales lies a darker, more complicated story, a tale of greed, chaos, and exploitation that reflects the worst of consumer culture. To understand the true story of Black Friday, we have to go back, way back, before the term became synonymous with shopping hysteria. Contrary to popular belief, the phrase Black Friday didn't originate with shopping at all. It first appeared in the 19th century during the financial crisis of September 24, 1869. On that infamous day, two ruthless financiers, Jay Gould and James Fisk, attempted to corner the gold market, driving prices sky high and triggering a market collapse. The fallout devastated the economy, causing bankruptcies across the country. The term Black Friday became shorthand for the devastation and financial ruin caused by unchecked greed. But what about the shopping connection? For that, we jump forward to the mid-20th century. In the 1950s, police in Philadelphia coined the term Black Friday to describe the chaos that descended on the city the day after Thanksgiving. Suburban shoppers flooded the city for early holiday sales and to catch the Army-Navy football game. Police were overwhelmed by massive traffic jams, crowded streets, and a spike in shoplifting. Officers had to work overtime to manage the mayhem, and they began calling the day Black Friday as a kind of gallows humor, a way to describe the nightmare they faced. Retailers hated the term. It carried a negative connotation that clashed with the festive, family-friendly image they wanted to promote. For decades, they tried to rebrand it as Big Friday or emphasize its connection to the start of the holiday season. But Black Friday stuck, and by the 1980s, retailers leaned into it, spinning a new narrative. They claimed the term came from the idea of businesses moving out of the red, or debt, and into the black, or profit. It was a convenient myth, one that erased the day's darker roots and reframed it as a celebration of capitalism's success. By the 1990s, Black Friday had cemented its place in American culture, but it didn't stay confined to the US for long. Retailers across the globe adopted the concept, lured by the promise of massive profits. What started as a relatively tame shopping day exploded into a frenzy of competitive consumerism. Major chains began opening earlier and earlier, first at 6 a.m., then 5 a.m., and eventually midnight. By 2011, stores like Walmart and Target began opening on Thanksgiving Day itself, sparking a wave of backlash over the erosion of family time for workers and customers alike. The pressure to offer the biggest deals at the earliest hours led to violence in the aisles. Over the years, Black Friday has been marred by horrifying incidents. In 2008, a Walmart worker in Long Island was trampled to death by a crowd of 2,000 shoppers who broke down the store's doors. In 2011, a woman in Los Angeles pepper-sprayed 20 people in a Walmart to secure a discounted Xbox. In 2016, a deadly shooting occurred in a Macy's parking lot in New Jersey over a parking space. According to Black Friday DeathCount.com, there have been at least 17 deaths and over 125 injuries linked to Black Friday shopping events since 2006. What was once a day of deals had turned into a gladiatorial spectacle, a fight for cheap TVs, gaming consoles, and kitchen appliances at the expense of basic human decency. Behind the scenes, workers bear the brunt of the pressure. Retail employees are often forced to work grueling hours on Thanksgiving and Black Friday, missing time with their families to meet the demands of their employers. Wages for retail workers have remained stagnant for decades, even as companies rake in billions on Black Friday alone. In 2022, US consumers spent a record $9.12 billion online on Black Friday. Yet many of the workers who make those sales possible are paid close to minimum wage. The exploitation doesn't stop at the cash register. The manufacturing of many of these heavily discounted products often relies on overseas labor, where workers in countries like Bangladesh and China are paid pennies to produce goods that are sold at a fraction of their true value. The environmental cost is staggering too, as cheap, mass-produced items contribute to landfill waste and environmental degradation on a global scale. The arrival of online shopping has changed the Black Friday landscape yet again. Cyber Monday, first coined in 2005, created a new wave of online deals and gave consumers an alternative to braving the crowds. But the rise of e-commerce hasn't ended the chaos. Instead, it's shifted the battlefield to the digital space. Websites crash under the weight of millions of shoppers, bots snatch up limited stock items, and supply chain issues create a frenzy of shortages. Online giants like Amazon have turned Black Friday into a multi-week event, offering early access deals throughout November, effectively erasing any sense of tradition or urgency. The result is a relentless push to consume that begins earlier every year and leaves shoppers, workers, and even retailers exhausted by the time December rolls around. In recent years, backlash against Black Friday has grown. Movements like Buy Nothing Day encourage consumers to reject the holiday altogether and embrace anti-consumerism. Some retailers have also pushed back. Brands like REI closed their stores on Black Friday, urging customers to spend time outdoors instead. Others, like Patagonia, use the day to highlight sustainable practices and encourage mindful consumption. But these efforts are drops in the ocean compared to the billions spent each year. Black Friday has become an unstoppable juggernaut, driven by a combination of marketing, social pressure, and the human desire for a good deal. Black Friday is more than just a day of shopping. It's a mirror reflecting the extremes of modern consumer culture. It's a day of deals and discounts, yes, but also of chaos, greed, and exploitation. As shoppers, we're drawn to the thrill of a bargain, but it's worth asking, at what cost? Thank you for watching this deep dive into the truth behind Black Friday. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe to the Central Sites for more stories that uncover the hidden sides of our world.